everyone, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Upgrade. And for this very special episode, we will be featuring LEGO Custom Kong vs Godzilla movie King Kong Upgrade. But first of all, thank you to YouTube.com Audio Library for this awesome background music. Please also like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And to be able to support my channel, please do not skip on all the ads on all my videos. Please also follow me on all my social media platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, LYKA, and Instagram. I'll be posting some of my exclusive photos and video clips as well. So I'll see you there, everyone! This movie has been one of the best movies ever this year. I'm looking forward to seeing more movies like this 2021. Well, here's the making of King Kong. So I grabbed on some clay and of course modified this one very clearly, so you can see I have made the decision to take out the articulation in the mouth. I have shortened the body, replaced the hands of this one. I have widened the shoulders as well, and of course shortened the legs for King Kong. You can see here that although the articulation is reduced, I have added a little bit of something there on the behind. So King Kong will have that some booty call maybe for other chicks. So here's King Kong after it has been primered. And all that is left to be done here will of course be painting. And we'll be using, for this one I actually used a Bossing number 68 primer in gray. So the materials that we will be using for this would be some brushes, of course acrylics, and some water. And of course we wouldn't be going over this one without looking into references. So you can see here a reference for the 2020 King Kong. And it's a little bit of on the brownish side of the color, so you can probably remember that the King Kong I made before was on the darker side, or the blackish King Kong coloration or fur. So this one I'm using a mixture of black as well as browns and a little bit of I guess green and white mixed with it. So this will be painted on all the fur sections of King Kong. I know you guys have supported also the first video of King Kong, which I did. It was done. That was the very first time that I ever did, something of this size. And the articulations were really considered during that time. However, during the making of the King Kong for that, there are some limitations in terms of sculpting, and but this time I created the King Kong that is more likely similar to the looks in general for King Kong. So I hope we created something that is very in keeping with what we have in the movie. Alright, so keeping on with the painting, so there hasn't been any changes in the colorations as well, but for this one I mix it with a little bit lighter, adding a little bit more white to this one so that it will not be dark all throughout. As you can see, acrylics actually dry and then it will be a little bit darker than it usually is when it's still applied freshly. So the parts wherein this is applied would be of course the arms, that of the sections of the head, the lower parts of the torso, the chest area, the periphery, and then of course the legs, except those of the fingers of course. Some of you are also asking some tips on to avoid some clumping on the paint, especially with acrylics. What I do is I don't have to create a very thick acrylic. I usually thin it down with some water, and but not so thin so that it will still apply on the plastic. Alright, so also I run them down with quick but not so heavy on the hands, so that everything will be smoothened out very carefully. Alright, so this is just a mixture of the same colors of browns earlier, except that I added a little bit more yellow to it. Usually I use a yellow ochre for this as a mixture, and then this is how it turned out. This coloration will be placed on areas wherein light would actually touch King Kong in some when the sun is up, or when King Kong is on the sunset. So those areas, such as the most prominent areas of the arms, such as the deltoids, triceps, and so on, those are the parts that I actually use that particular color. Okay, so for the skin sections of King Kong, I mixed this gray with a little bit of brown and some yellows, and then applied it on those areas, such as the face, the chest area, the fingers, and also the nails. I mean the toes. So after all of that has been dried thoroughly, it's now time for us to add in some details. So with a little bit of white added to the brownish yellowish color that we have earlier, I do some dry brushing techniques on areas that are most prominent, such as the forehead, some parts of the cheeks, some parts of the back, as well as those of the arms, and also the legs. This actually gives it that somehow furry texture to it, even if it's not, we're not creating lines of, fur to it. I try to go this simpler direction rather than painting so much detail on it, and it will actually obscure the figure. Okay, so let's chat a little bit. In the movie King Kong vs. Godzilla, what is your favorite scene from that movie? I guess my favorite scene would be the scene wherein King Kong helped out Godzilla when Godzilla was actually fighting off Mechagodzilla. And also one of the favorite scenes also was when Godzilla attacked King Kong during his transport from Skull Island. Alright, so moving on with the details, we are also placing some highlights on the gray areas, such as this one. So among those areas would be, of course, the chest, those of the lips, and just above the eyebrows. Okay, so now it's time for some more details. So with the gray that we have earlier, let's add in some more black to it so that it will be a little bit darker than it is already. And let's apply that on the eye sockets for King Kong. King Kong actually has his deep set eyes, which is somehow connected from end to end. And so we're doing that here. Among the details that will also go into this figure would, of course, be painting the teeth, painting the nails, and also creating that deep set eyes for King Kong, which you'll see after this. I'm not showing it in the making section, but later on you'll see what I did. Alright, so now it's time for us to have some breaks. You can do it, and let's bolt in. Okay, so for assemblies, let's count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 pieces to this figure. Let's first connect the arms. So we have there the left one, and here's the right arm. Now let's assemble. So here's the head connected to the body. Such fierce eyes. Now let's connect the arms and then the lower torso. Alright, now all that's left is to connect the legs. So we have here the left and then the right one. And there you have it, the finished King Kong. We can now move on with the closer look of King Kong. So here is King Kong just trampled out the Mechagodzilla. This is how I imagine it, at least. So we have here some buildings on the back, also some wires. This is actually based off from the King Kong versus Godzilla movie back in a few months ago, I guess. And this is how it actually is the upgrade. So there is a first version to this one, so if you haven't seen that, please check it out. I'll be placing the link down below in the description box. Alright, so let's move on with a closer look on this one. And ta-da! So here's the finished figure of King Kong upgrade. So if we are going to compare this one with the previous one, you can see some of the differences. We have changes in the head sculpt. We take out the articulation of the jaw. The torso is reduced. I mean in length. The shoulders are widened and the legs are shorter. I think this is now more in keeping with what the proportions of King Kong is. So the coloration here is definitely different from the previous one. It's now brownish, dark brown, and with some highlights to it. The hands are also different from the previous one, which is also articulated from before. And you can see here still that it has this articulation on the midsection. And as for articulation, although some of the articulations have been removed, it's still very movable and poseable in some ways. So you can see here several sections of the arms, movable, the head, the legs as well. I would like to know what you think of this version of my King Kong. Put them down in the comments below, guys. I'd like to read them all. Well, let's now move on with the size comparisons of the new King Kong that I have. And for this one, I won't be comparing with a regular minifigure because that would just be wrong. So now we will be comparing with this minifigure. A mini figure, I guess. So I think this time it is in scale with this particular King Kong. And this mini figures can be actually used for some of the kaijus that I will be doing. King Kong, in reference to this one, is actually about the right size, I guess. So there are other kaijus that we could be doing, Mothra or Ghidorah, you can also suggest if you want to. I know some of you would like to see more closely what these mini figures looks like. It's actually a representation of what a minifigure is. So I'll be using this one moving forwards to compare with other kaijus that I'll be doing in the future. Alright, so let's now bring this back here and move King Kong a little bit because we will be comparing this with other kaijus that I have so far. So first up, this is the Mechagodzilla. This is actually a branded one, a Sluben brand. And a few months back, there is actually a speed build for this one. So if you haven't checked that out yet, guys, please do check that video out. It's a fun build and it took us around 2 hours or so to finish this figure. I'm glad that TGX was able to help me out on this one. Okay, so in terms of size, this is very comparable to our King Kong here, which is also a very large figure. Now let's move on to the next one. This is our Extinct Breaks Godzilla. Oops, I think it's really tall, so let's adjust the camera a little bit. So Godzilla, as you know, is definitely taller than that of King Kong, even in the movie. So I guess this time our King Kong is just about the right size in comparison to our Godzilla. So you can see here the details of our Godzilla. We have different sizes of plates on the back. We also have details of scalings like stones on its back. So I'm really glad that I was able to made an upgrade for King Kong that is more similar or more in keeping with that of the movie. So far in the Monsterverse universe, this is the only two that I have so far, but of course, your requests are very much welcome. Now let's move on to this PC roll call. We only have 3, of course, but bear with me, we will soon have more. Extinct Breaks is also welcome to entertain all your requests and probably your comments on probably improvements of what I have so far. So I'm going to check out all your comments down below, so don't be shy and comment away. Also, I'll be placing some of the links of all 3 videos from before, so do check them out as well. I also have videos of other cryptids such as that of the Venatosaurus and the Vastatosaurus Rex, so check them out as well, guys. Alright, so let's proceed with the species roll call, shall we? Let's start with Godzilla by Sluben, Godzilla by Extinct Breaks, and of course, to start the show here, our upgrade, King Kong. And that's it for our species roll call and size comparisons. We can now move on with the last looks of our King Kong upgrade. King Kong vs. Godzilla was released theatrically in Japan on August 11, 1962. The film remains the most attended Godzilla film in Japan to date. That's one awesome trivia from Extinct Breaks. Wishing I would be able to view that movie as well. Alright, so that is it for us for our King Kong upgrade. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone, and thanks for watching as well. And as always, guys, I can't thank you enough for all the support that you have provided me and this channel. You know, all the subscribers and all the views and also the likes are really appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Also, please don't forget to support our other channels, Toy Universe and The Adventures of Moira and Asher. Please watch their videos and support their channels well by subscribing. And as we always would say, let your inner dino break roar!